Yeah, no, how was it? Was it
Uh,
raining this weekend, it
it
seemed
was
like?
raining this weekend. So,
Hmm.
I mean, a lot of stuff has happened. We've done a lot of stuff, which is exciting.
Hmm.
When you saw us, we did the 2-day pop-up, which was one of the most intense experiences that I think I've just had up to date. It was a lot of fun. We sold out both days very fast. Weather was beautiful, got a lot of traffic. It was a very good experience. Owners were extremely nice, super supportive. I couldn't have asked for better circumstances. This past weekend, we did not sell out, but it was pouring down rain. So it's ironic because and this is just like luck of the draw, but it wasn't raining when we started that morning. As soon as we got there, it was not raining. 30 minutes into our sale, it started downpour. Like it was like downpouring rain. Like it was intense. And so we had like a big rush at the beginning. Like there was people like lined up for a while at the very beginning, and like our Venmo transaction tap to pay didn't work, and so had a mild panic attack. We were on time to the site, but we should have been a little bit early, but we were on time because we couldn't find parking. And so we also made a lot more this time. Like not a lot more. We probably made close to 130, 140 rolls instead of like the 100-ish that we did the first time around. And we were close, but we had about 10 crab and 10 tuna that left ended up not being sold. The meat ones obviously went really fast. The meat ones were sold out in like an hour.
Hmm.
Spam also we ran out quite fast. And what we realized was that area is like a Filipino community. Like
Oh,
everybody knows what spam is. They really like spam.
yeah.
We didn't think about that. So we made more tuna, crab, meat, and then the two meat ones rather than doing more spam. And so that one ended up selling out. And then the rain just did not help us.
Hmm.
And it just ended up being a little bit tougher than we had anticipated. And then I went to work the next day. Or sorry, went to work right after.
Hmm.
And then Sunday, actually, we had another order for about 30 rolls and like 10 orders of chicken or something. And that one went much smoother. We also started later, and that one was for noon, and life was a lot easier. Um, so yeah, but we have a lot of exciting things coming up. I will say we were changing direction just a little bit. What we're realizing is doing six rolls, the same six rolls every single pop-up isn't one is hard for us to do, but also isn't that exciting for people anymore, just because it's like we know what these flavors are. It's not realistic for us to expect new people to come out every single time. So we actually got a sort of a offer, like a business offer kind of to start selling. So the owner of the shared kitchen that we work at has their own business, like a meal kit business. And they do like 2,000 to 3,000 orders a week or something like that. But they have ready to eat options. It's like ready to eat. And so they were like, Kimbap seems like a great option for that. Um, do you want to sell, like we'll put you on the website. They'll just like upcharge a little bit, and then we will just charge the same prices, and they'll just take on whatever is a little bit incremental on top of that. But what that got us to thinking is he actually said that he doesn't need all six options. He was just like, just give me your top three bestsellers and he'll rotate one per week. And I was like, that's such a smart idea. Just like take the bestsellers that we have and you don't have to give them all the options every week. Just do one per week and then it's a little bit more exciting. And so that got us thinking about one, it's really hard for us to make six rolls at once. Also, just because like veggie one as an example, we make five or six of them and we sell out, but like nobody really wants those anyway because these are pop-ups. It's not like we're a full-fledged restaurant that needs to give out vegetarian and gluten-free options.
Hmm.
And so what we're going to try instead is one for these pop-ups to build more hype around it. We're going to introduce new rolls, like one specialty roll per new pop-up. And we're just going to do a rotating top two, right? Like we're just going to do a rotating two classics. So like we'll put two classics on the menu. This week it might be like bulgogi and crab or something. And then we'll do the third one that's new, like a specialty roll. So then we'll like hype it up a little bit. And so then we'll just sell those three at the pop-ups. And so then the idea is we'll hopefully build more hype around the new product. And also, if they want just like the classic ones that they're used to, we'll just keep a couple of the best sellers. And then maybe next week, if we did bulgogi crab this week, we'll do like spicy pork and tuna the week after.
Hmm.
Um, and then what we're hoping for, because like the whole point of us doing these classic rolls was like we will keep these and we'll keep these prices as they are, just because like people are accustomed to them, people know what they can expect. But at some point we did want to do an specialty rolls. Like we wanted to make things that are unique to us and like people really like and that look good. And so that's sort of the direction that we want to move forward for at least the next couple pop-ups, just see how it is. I think the first roll that we're going to try is a pork belly samgyeopsal roll. And the concept behind this one is going to be kind of like a Korean barbecue wrap, like gendip and stuff like that. So we'll do tepe samgyeopsal, which is thin cuts of ground, sorry, not ground, but pork. And hopefully that'll be easier to roll because like a regular pork belly is too thick for you to be able to roll really well.
Hmm.
So we'll do thinly cut slices of pork belly and then we'll do a samjang mayo. And what we're thinking for this one is like a samjang mixed with mayo, mixed with peppers, 약간 gochu, because like you put gochu in those wraps, and then maybe additional garlic, although samjang already has garlic, so maybe not, but some sort of crunch with a pepper. And so we'll do that mayo spread. And then we'll also put perilla leaf. So it'll be pork belly, perilla leaf. So that's samjang mayo, the radish, the egg, and maybe the burdock. I'm not sure on the burdock, but we want to do a little bit of testing on that this weekend. But yeah, I think that'll be the specialty role for the upcoming. We hopefully have a pop up on 82, which is ironic to say 82, at Amber Agave, which is another cafe. So I think we want to introduce that role, and then we'll produce some more content because at a certain point, our content now is just like, oh, this is all the stuff that went wrong, and like it becomes repetitive because it's like this is all we're doing, and like realistically, I think it's a good way for us to be like, hey, here's what we're thinking about in terms of how we want to do the menu. I have like all these thoughts about like I want to keep it Korean, but like we obviously need it to be a little bit more exciting than just like bulgogi, right? Like we need to add a little more flair to it. So. Um, it'll be real about like, hey, here's what we're thinking about putting on our menu. And if it's good enough and people really like it, then we'll put it on our final menu when we open our brick and mortar. But right now it's just like all a test, right? Just like see what people really like, see if people really like it, then we'll bring it back sometime and like we'll do like a limited time edition. But I think for these pop-ups, we want to generate a little bit more hype around like maybe people will want to try certain types of rolls.
Hmm. No, I really like this, and it's yeah. Well, what a nice surprise to have the shared kitchen guy kind of also introduce some new uh yeah ways to kind of introduce those great dishes as well.
Yeah. So we'll see. I'm not exactly sure what the sent how people react, but I think it
Hmm.
it feels right. I think operationally it's a little easier for us. I think it also builds a little bit more hype around things that we potentially could do because I think now that we've know how to roll our rolls, I think we sort of know how we want to be able to do this. I think it's a good time for us to think about how do we develop flavors that people really resonate with. And then
Hmm.
in the long term game, right, is still to figure out how do we develop a menu that is really good that people can get behind.
You know, that sounds exciting. There's two things in my mind. I do want to start off with I think we kind of talk about it weekly, but operations wise, how do you see your operations changing with like the new way of, I guess, orders from the shared kitchen?
Yeah, we actually think it'll not be too much of a burden. He asked for it on Monday nights, which
Hmm.
is pretty easy for us, and then we'll put it in the fridge. So it is going to be refrigerated because they have to
Hmm.
deliver it the next day.
Hmm.
But it makes our lives easier because we first off we only have to do the kimbap, and we only have to make one type. So it's like Jimmy and I can both crank out one type, and it's like 50 to 70 rolls, so it's a good amount of revenue for us. But if we just have to make one type, then you just bang it out and then we can refrigerate it no problem. We'll make a couple extra just in case something happens, but it should be pretty straightforward. And at this point, we know how operationally we need to make one roll. Like it's not too hard. So I think that will help us like, quite a bit.
Hmm. So does that mean you get a pre-order of a certain amount and you just have to meet that number by
Exactly.
that date? Okay.
So Sunday morning, he will message us with how many orders they've gotten. And
Hmm.
because they do like 2 or 3 thousand meals, I mean, I think that's why he was like, there's probably 50 to 70 rolls that people will try to get.
Hmm.
And so they have orders in place already. So it's similar to a pre-order, except they do the logistics for us.
Hmm.
And
Interesting.
so, yeah, and then they'll just take on whatever's on incremental on top of that. Um, but yeah, they'll let us know Sunday morning. We'll make it for them Monday night, and then we'll just put it in the fridge for them, and then they'll just take it.
Hmm. And How was like the split? Did it make sense to you? Was it aggressive or
No, he'll pay us full price. So like he'll pay us what we ask,
wow.
which is asking price, and then they'll just upsell it a little bit on their website, like a dollar or two at the most,
Oh, interesting.
and then they'll take whatever's on top.
Okay. And no additional fees or anything,
No
right?
additional fees. I mean, we work out of his kitchen, so
Yeah.
it seems like a cool deal. I think it's for them. It's good too because it gives them more options and variety on their menu.
Yeah.
And they also tasted our food, and I guess it was good enough for them to think that it was going to be a good option. So
Hmm.
they
Yeah.
can't
And
argue.
how did this kind of interaction start? Was it just you guys kind of saw faces when you signed the shared kitchen
Oh
or
no, he's our main point of contact. He owns
oh
the
okay.
place, very
Okay.
friendly. Like he's been
Hmm.
nothing but great to us, and he just sent us the message the other day and was like, "Hey, I own this catering business, or like it's not catering, it's like this meal kit business, and like it does really
Hmm.
well." And he was like, "If we have ready to go options, and we love for your food to be a part of it. If you just want to give us, we'll pay you the price. You just tell us what it is, and we'll just upsell it for a little bit on the website, and that's it." And we're like, "Let's do it."
Wow. Yeah, and that's exciting because I think there were some weeks where we kind of talked about like what are some different ways we can kind of have kimbap out to the audience. Is it going to be just brick and mortar? Is it going to be purely pickup orders or things like that? So it's very interesting to see there's another outlet to get those dishes out there.
Yeah, and like this is just like a cool opportunity. Like he just got back to us, and like I'm looking on the website now. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, like I'll show you right now, just real quick. But like this is kind of fascinating. Am I not sharing the right one?
I see your lunchbox beef bulgogi.
Yeah, yeah. So like this is their like menu. It's really cool actually. And
Wow,
then
interesting.
you order by here, and then like here's how you do it. And this so they do like kits, right? So it's easier for them to like it's for people that don't have time to like shop and stuff, but they still want to cook. And then these are ready to eat options, right?
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, and this is our picture, but like it looks real nice. Um,
Very cool.
but yeah,
Huh.
we sent this over to him, and he put it on the website, and it's so fast, like it's fascinating, and
Very cool.
yeah, I guess this one doesn't really have many reviews or anything, but I'm not sure how this works.
Interesting. And it's also
Yeah, but
very
now it's on.
nice. Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's very nice
and so
because
then we'll
it's
just
good for both.
yeah, exactly. It's like a win-win, and then we'll just see how many we get. Um, yeah, but both of these like it's a husband and wife that do this, but like they're like professional chefs, so it's
Oh,
honestly kind of cool. I wonder what he did 14, so he upcharged it by $2, which is like we don't mind. So
wow.
yeah. So we'll
Very
see how that
cool. No,
goes.
this is
We'll see
exciting.
how they order. Yeah,
Huh.
should be a cool opportunity for us this week. And yeah, we're exploring a lot of other ways to sell. We'd love to be in like things like Taste of Chicago and Lollapalooza, but all those applications have ended already. So we'll probably eye them for next year and see what happens. But I think they really what this year should be for us now is just building the brand and then just building the flavor profiles that we really like. Build the hype around, what needs to actually be built. Like not just like the fact of like, oh, things are exciting at the beginning, but like actually build things that people want and like taste good. I
Hmm.
think that's always the premise.
Yeah. Well, I don't think it's over for Lollapalooza, I feel. Of course, I feel there is that main event and you probably need a license to get in there, but I feel whenever people go to Lollapalooza, there's always pre-games, and if you can get into a few pre-game
Yeah.
locations and you have it out there with your name cards,
Yeah.
isn't that the same effect? And
The same
probably,
thing.
yeah, people are probably still alive by then. So,
Yeah. Well, we're trying to go to Amber Agave, which is actually pretty close, I think, to the downtown area, like around that. We really like the idea of pop-ups just because it saves us a lot of headache. Ideally, we would be a vendor at Lollapalooza. Our actual like there's actually a competitor, like there's another Kimbap place that's actually selling at Lollapalooza.
oh.
which is pretty cool. But
Interesting.
yeah, we'd love to do stuff, and like we're thinking bigger for next year. Like we'd love to do running events as well, and like be on the exhibits for those. But all that to say, it's like we need to find ways to sell. But I think what's great is now that we're aware of those opportunities, right now is the time for us to build and like figure out what people really want. And like hopefully by doing these new recipes at every pop-up, like we'll get a sense of, are people really excited for it, or is it just like an reaction?
Hmm. And I think that's a very strategic approach as well. And um, I really like it. It seems like you're kind of testing out your different kind of iterations by kind of in a different manner, I guess, with that rotation that you mentioned and kind of inspired from the shared kitchen person with having your main ones out there up front, but then there's always something new, interesting, and if it sticks, it sticks. If it's not, there's a new one coming in the following week. So
Yeah.
very cool. I do
Yeah.
want to ask about what your stance is with Jimmy on pop-ups right now. I remember back in a few weeks, you guys weren't sure if pop-ups were the approach, and it was kind of it felt like you guys were still exploring different ways. What's the
Mhm.
stance right now?
We really like pop-ups. Uh, there's a couple of reasons. One, the cafes that we've been popping up at are just naturally very popular. And so it drives foot traffic for us. And so even if people aren't looking for us specifically, which thankfully most people that do end up coming to our booth, they do know. But we do get people that are just like coming in anyway to like grab stuff and they're just like, hey, like I'd love to try. Second of all, what's nice is we are not on the hook for anything. It's not like they ordered 100 things and we need to have 100 things ready. If we find that something goes wrong and like we can only make 27 instead of 30, like it's okay. Like it affects obviously it affects our numbers, but it's not like we're on the hook to make them. And so it relieves a lot of pressure, and it also gives us the ability to like give out things for free, right? And so like we to Viet Five, like to the backup house and like to the owners, we like gave out stuff for free. But like if you have pre-orders, then you can't do that because like we make enough to order, right? And so pre-orders is a hassle for two reasons. One, you're on the hook for everything that you say you're gonna give them. And then two, you also have to spend time actually packaging the orders and you have to actually get it ready. And then getting to the pickup site is fine, but most of the time it's like a park or something like that. And so it's not even like we could always get shut down if we're too close to anything. And like it's a little bit of a headache because also then the customers have to come out to like a random location kind of.
Mhm.
Whereas a cafe, like people come to cafes all the time to grab coffee and stuff. Like so it's a natural visiting spot with natural foot traffic. So I
Mhm.
think it just makes sense for pop-ups and it's kind of cool to like see a line and stuff like that. And like you get to talk to people. It's also indoors. So you don't have to worry about like weather, like if it's too hot, like keeping stuff in the car. Like it's fully air conditioned on the way. Like we have an ice box now, obviously a cooler, but everything's temperature controlled now.
Hmm. Great to hear that. And I think that's a very smart move from your guys' end to make that decision and also kind of adapt to it.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think what I really like about your kind of description of your process right now is that it feels like a community thing rather than just by yourself.
yeah,
Um, um, Especially when you're starting out, I feel there's always some sort of help needed, and I think being able to help each other out in those ways, especially with like these different cafes or pop-ups, seems like it's not just you guys wanting to make it out there, but more like everyone else together are kind of helping each other out to make it better, options for food and
yeah,
drinks like that. So that sounds great.
yeah. I think people are just supportive of us, and I think it's nice because our story is that we are new. At a certain point, though, that does get old, and so now it becomes how do we stay relevant and exciting? And I think it's just you have to come up with cool flavors, and I think the other approach that we were thinking about is just going on Uber Eats to serve. At the base root of it is our goal is to serve the corporate people during lunch on weekdays.
Mhm.
But as of right now, I just don't think we're at that scale yet to be able to do that. And I'm sure we could. Like it's just a level of risk that you're comfortable taking. And right now, we're not comfortable with just saying we have six flavors. That's all you get. And then we're going to commit to hiring people and then to renting out the shared kitchen every single week to be open on Uber Eats that take 30% of your of your total
Yeah.
whatever. I think right now, then with these new recipes too, it gives us the ability to say, here's our six classic that we always have in our back pocket. We know how to make them. We've made them before. Here's some new and exciting flavors that if people really can get behind them and people really resonate with them, then like we won't bring it back right now, but like we'll keep it in our back pocket of here's the potential ones that we really want to put on our final menu. And
Mm,
then once we're ready to do that, then and once we're ready to serve people during lunch, whether that means we have a brick and mortar or whether that means we just have, like we were just on Uber Eats, but then we'll sort of know how to do it and what people's responses will be.
mm. Was there any specific reason, or maybe even a discussion between you and Jimmy about the number of roles? Was it always six? Was it even maybe like two versus six at any point?
No, so like Jimmy has always said six is too many. I never listened. And Jimmy is right in some regard because we're right now the idea is we're doing pop-ups. I think this occurred to me when we were at side practice and the spam one sold out so fast, and we were
Hmm.
like, we just had no idea because the spam ones never sold out that fast, and it's because of the Filipino community. And then I was just like, that makes a ton of sense. Like the people that come out, like it's a pop-up. It's not like we're not serving people full meals. Like we're not on the hook to have vegetarian options, gluten-free. It's great if we do, and like we can serve maybe two people out of the 50 people that we serve, on top of, what we have. But oh, sorry. Um, but then I think what I was getting at was like the pop-ups that we have right now, it just people will come out regardless. And it's not like none of them have like allergy problems. Otherwise, they're not going to eat it anyway, right?
Mm.
So it's like, why are we so concerned? Why was I so concerned with like trying to feed everybody? When in reality, the people that come out to the pop-ups are like, they get two things. It's like usually the meat ones, and that's it. And I'm like, we could serve 90% of our customers with just two rolls. And so operationally, I think it makes things a lot easier. But also, I think what I will say though is that now that we've done it and now we know what it's like and we've tested it and like we like the recipes, we know where we're at. We've done this multiple times. If we ever need to bring back some options, we can. After selling this three or four times, especially at pop-ups, we now know that the meat ones sell out real fast. Crab and tuna are mixed bag. Like tuna sells out really fast to Korean people, especially because they know what tuna tastes like.
Mm.
So like to the random stranger though, I mean, they will go for the meat options, especially because everything's priced the same. Although technically tuna is the most expensive.
Yep. Yeah.
And so, like, I think that's what was on my mind. Of we don't need to serve everybody. That means that we don't need to break our backs having six to seven different flavors every single pop up, especially if it's the same one over and over again. Because now it's not so exciting for people to be like, hey, here's the six flavors that we had last week. Like it's good, but like it's a pop-up. And so I think we want to cater to that. And so we will the end goal is not for us to always be at pop-ups, right? But I think while we are doing pop-ups, we should make the most of it and utilize what we can to build a hype around it and so that people we can actually gauge what people want.
Wow. I never thought I've hear the word hype from Michael.
Right? Marketing is the politically correct term or whatever.
Hmm.
But
Hmm.
hype, yeah.
No, yeah. No, I think that's very valid. And I think it's important that we always kind of think about the right time and also circumstances. So like for example, what you said, a pop-up versus like a sit-down restaurant, their expectation might be different, what they want, maybe the pricing is different. So currently being in your phase of going through these pop-ups, I guess maximizing what you mentioned seems like very valid, very interesting way of, continuing the approach there.
Yeah, and I think what we'll probably have to do is for these specialty rolls, we'll have to raise the prices on them. Just
Yeah.
because, as an example, this thinly cut pork belly is double the price of our normal pork. And so it just becomes like it just doesn't make any sense for us to keep the prices the same. But I think that's okay because we're always gonna keep the classic ones at a reasonable price. So, but yeah, I mean those are the thoughts that we've been having. And I actually had this thought today,
Mm.
because we also got a request. We're serving the BAP alumni event.
Oh yeah.
And there's a lot of sort of allergies and dietary restrictions.
Mm,
And so we're having to update our veggie one because they don't really want egg in them. And so instead of having egg, we're just going to spread the rice normally, and then we're also going to add cucumber to it.
mm,
But yeah, it's just got me thinking, I think a lot just about the direction of what we're doing and
mm.
like the fact that we didn't sell out, which is fine. It was also downpouring rains. Like I'm sure there are reasons as to why we didn't sell out, but we were pretty close, I will say. We sold out of everything except for tuna and crab. Um, but yeah, I think it's just a good time for us to be like, here's the new things we want to try. And like if it doesn't work and people don't like what we're doing, which I don't know why people wouldn't like it, I think then we can always go back to what we're doing. But yeah, I mean, I think it makes a lot of sense. So
Hmm. I do have a question to ask regarding your kind of consumer profile. I know initially we started, well, you mentioned about catering towards Korean demographics that are in the States. Yeah, just if do you have any data or just intuition from the recent pop-ups with what the split was like, and do you still feel like catering towards the Korean demographic in Chicago is what your team is looking to do in the short term at least?
yeah, I mean, I don't have any hard numbers, but most of the people that come out are Asian. They're not
Hmm.
all, so they're most of them are Korean American, especially the ones that come and find us. They're not
Hmm.
Korean,
Yeah.
which makes a lot of sense again. And I think the idea, and this is actually, I was thinking about this the other day. This gets a little bit more into like the philosophy and like the thesis of like how we want our food to be. But I don't, I want the flavor to be authentic to Koreans, and because that's how I feel. That's the food that I like. So I
Hmm.
want it to be where if you look at it, it looks like it's Korean. You can tell.
Hmm.
It's not because there's a very thin line between becoming not Korean and becoming fusion. I don't like fusion. Like I'm just not a fusion.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that you can't take the ingredients that you have and make it a little bit different. Right? Like the samjang mayo, like I mean maybe Korean people do that, but like I don't really know many people that are like, let me put a mayo in our, like the samjang mayo. I don't think it's like a big thing, but to me it makes a lot of sense. I think it tastes pretty good. Um, so little things like that where I'm like, I still feel like if you look at it, it's gonna look hella Korean because it has pork belly, it has, samjang and then it has gimnip, but it's
Hmm.
not exactly the thing that you would look for in Korea, right? I think
Right.
that's and to me that's okay. To me, it still is not fusion. I
Hmm.
think I want to stay Korean, but I don't want to serve Koreans because at that point I just not that's not who I am. And so at the end of the day, I think I want to serve people that are like me, like us, that have spent a lot of time in the States, that are still at the root of who we are, Koreans, like paying homage to the fact that we are Korean at heart. But that doesn't mean that you can't have great food that's not completely traditional and authentic.
Yeah. Makes a lot of sense. Yeah, I was just thinking about this because I think I was speaking with a friend the other day, and I think we were just talking about some Korean food in LA and how sometimes when a recommendation is made by a Korean American for a certain spot in K-Town, LA, like the Koreans actually kind of disagree with the quality or maybe the taste a bit.
Hmm.
So yeah, it just kind of popped up in my mind as you kind of find your uh, consumers for your
Yeah.
Kimpo.
But to be fair, though, what I'll say is in Korea, there's a lot of innovation happening with kimbap too. It's not just the typical like whatever
Yeah,
you find at kimbap Jjanguk. There's a lot of places that are trying very cool things and have
yeah.
very flavor profiles. And so, what is technically traditional and authentic, like it's not really a thing, right? Like it is. I mean, like there are the really classic traditional roles, but at the same time, there's a lot of people in Korea that are trying new things, and people like the new things. And so, I think it's just it's a testament to like just because I was always the one that was like I was on the same boat as what we just said about like Korean Americans that recommend a certain spot. I was like, bro, it doesn't taste good. Like it doesn't taste authentic. But now that I'm making the food, I think I'm okay with it running a little bit more into the taste good category and it's still Korean rather than having to be just Korean.
Mhm. Hmm.
Because the people that come out to our pop-ups are like 90%, 99% not Korean.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
Hmm. And I guess following up with that, you mentioned about doing these pop-ups with maybe new flavors every week or whenever you do those pop-ups. Um, you always talk about quality. Any thoughts on how you hope to keep, the quality in check? I guess that comes with a bit of risk as well.
yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's just a lot of testing. Spending a lot of time. Like as an example, tomorrow I'm gonna. What's nice is this time around, our next pop-up is actually not this weekend, but the weekend after. So we have 2 weeks, and so we
Hmm.
have a lot to do during that time. We have to film a couple reels during that time, and then we also have to do a lot of testing. So this weekend, what's nice is our volume of Kimbap is actually a little bit less, so it's a little bit less intensive. What I'm hoping
Hmm.
to do is actually test some recipes then.
Hmm.
And so tomorrow, obviously, I have a meeting with the team to try and figure out some of the media behind it.
Hmm.
And then on the weekend, what I'm hoping for is that we will make enough so that we can test out different recipes and just see what it tastes like. And then once we get to one where we're like, yeah, this tastes real nice, that's the one we'll go with.
Hmm. Yeah,
But yeah,
very
I think we
cool.
just have to work a little harder. I mean, I think things have been good. It's been hectic. I will say that not had yet an easy week, which is good because I think we keep overloading ourselves a little bit. Like after the first pop-up, we decided to do 2 days in a row. That was after we did the first pre-order. Like, so the very first pre-order was tough. The second pre-order went much, much better. We felt a lot better about it. And then third time through, like, oh, we know what we're doing. Instead of that third time, we were just like, okay, we're gonna do a pop-up and then we're gonna do it 2 days. So then we're gonna like scratch everything we know and we're gonna try it for 2 days. Killed ourselves doing it. It was a success, but like we had a very rough time, like Jimmy and I, like just physically.
Hmm.
And then the weekend after, we're like, okay, now we're only doing 1 day. Well, technically it's 2 days. The second day is a lot smaller. But instead of doing the normal volume, we're going to try to up it to 1.5 times that to like make it harder for ourselves. And then that also was not easy.
Hmm.
Um, and so then now after we've done that, we're like, okay, now we're going to try to change directions a little bit. So it's a lot of just testing and trying. And it's easy to say this to you now, but I will say it's going to be a lot of work.
Hmm. Yeah. I just see a lot of just crossovers between kind of what you mentioned and then maybe some other industries as well and how they kind of uh, push out products and kind of land on what is the best, I guess, product or product market fit for their users. So it's just very intriguing to hear that and just very excited that you guys are constantly innovating, constantly changing, adapting. And just because you had that six menu doesn't mean you have to stay like that. And it seems that this new inspiration that you guys just got is gonna also open a lot of different doors that yeah, I guess we hope to see in the future.
Yeah, should be exciting.
Wow. So what's the most exciting thing that you're looking forward to for this week to achieve this week?
There's a couple things. I think one, because of this new sort of direction that we've decided, I'm super excited about this new direction. I actually this morning I was exercising for the first time in a while, and I think it just came to me that like maybe we can try something like this. And so I'm very excited about doing this. I think it'll be operationally a little bit easier on us because it's less roles that we have to worry about. So prep is a little bit less intensive.
Hmm.
Um, and the reels, I think the content is going to be more interesting because now it becomes more interesting because we're doing more interesting things rather than it being just the same. Like, hey, we've done a pre-order, we've done a pop-up, it went not as well as we'd like. It's never going to be as good as we like. So I'm excited for that. I think more tangibly and more tactically, I guess, I'm excited to test these new rules. I think it's actually been a while since we've tested new things besides the common six that we've made.
Hmm.
I'm super excited to just try out new things, just to see what, trying out new things is fun. And I think this is sort of the time where we get to have fun with R&D. And then once we come to something we like, and then next week we'll be on the hook to actually make it.
Wow. Wow. I do want to finish today's conversation with one last question. It's gonna be about risk. Um, how has your risk tolerance increased over the time that you've been working on 82 K Pop? And what's gonna be the most riskiest thing you're gonna be pursuing in the next
Yeah.
few weeks?
Yeah, this is hard. I used to think of myself as a very risk averse person. It is very evident that I'm not that risk averse anymore with certain things. I will say, and like I'm going to go off on a little bit of a tangent here, but Jimmy actually and I talk about this quite a bit, where theoretically, we could always take more risk. We could look for a brick and mortar now. We could hire people now. We can go on Uber Eats now. Like we can do a lot of things that are very big in terms of capital investment and in terms of our own time investment, like resource allocation, things like that. But we don't want to do that yet. And so I would actually say my risk tolerance is probably the same, if not. maybe even a little bit lower. I
Hmm.
think we want to be a little bit more patient and we want to see actual demand, like proof of concept, right? Like, how do we actually see if there's something here rather than us breaking our backs to sell 120 rolls of kimbap and then it's selling out and then us being like, wow, that's great. Like that's good. And like I don't know what proof of concept really means. I like does it mean like once we sell out once, does that mean people really want it? No, I don't think that's right. So week over week, I think we'll continue to try new things and then we will see what people do, right? So if people buy everything and they really like it and they're like, hey, we want to see more of this, then to me that starts to become more of like, okay, if there's so much demand that we can't keep up, I think that's when you look for a brick and mortar. That's when you look for the next step up. Right now, it's not quite like that. It's we are making our own demand. Like we're building sort of that own hype around ourselves.
Hmm.
Later on, we're hoping that like the people will drive it, and then we'll be like, wow, we just can't physically can't make that many. So then we have to take the next leap forward. That's when we'll start to take the risk. The riskiest thing for us this upcoming week is just trying this out. I think this as a theory, as a concept, as a direction, strategy, whatever, is new for us. It makes a lot of sense to me, and so I don't doubt that like people will not get behind it, but it is something new. And so I'm excited to see how people will respond to this new recipe and this new idea and like hopefully what we're hoping for is that regardless of the weather, people will come out and make the trip to try this new one every single pop-up.
Wow. Seems like quite of a journey and very looking forward to the next couple of weeks and the changes that would happen to 82 Pinball.
Yeah, sounds good, man. Thanks.
All right, we'll catch you next week.
Sounds good. Start seeing you in Chicago.
Yeah, see you soon.
All right.